Okay, we'll just do that for right now.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony and Sally on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, that Knockem Day Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
Knockem Dead. On film?
We are on film right now. Yes, this camera right here is on right now. I think it's this one. Yes. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Show here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. We're on the Twitch channel. You got the graphic right above my head. Please like and share the show. And, share it all over the place. We're coming at you live from Governor's Comedy Club, where tonight there's going to be a great show here at Governor's Comedy Club. You can see this guy right here on the main stage tonight. Looking forward to that. Go to govs.com. Got a lot of great shows coming up this weekend. Dennis Rooney is playing here tomorrow night. New Year's Eve, we got Anthony Rodia playing. We were just talking about him. What a coincidence. Anthony Rodia playing the club New Year's Eve. In the Giggle Room, there are 2 New Year's Eve shows. John Butera's show for the early show, and Mike Keegan's producing the late show.
I like Mike.
Mike's a good boy.
I like Mike.
Joe Matarese is playing McGuire's on New Year's Eve with Fat Jay and Olga Namer. So lots of great stuff. Go to govs.com. Make your reservations for some great comedy shows, including Joey Cola on January 14th. Lots of great stuff coming up at Governor's. Govs.com. All right, I'm done with that. Look who's here. Scott Baker is here.
Woo!
Will Scharen is here.
Woo! Will Scharen.
Haven't seen either one of you guys in a while, so I'm excited to see you guys. Thank you both for hanging out today.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
Hey, anytime.
I'm going to compliment you and make you blush a little bit.
Uh-oh.
You have a marvelous radio voice.
Yeah.
And a face for it, too.
And I don't use the word marvelous very easily. But,
Yes, marvelous.
But I can say it with a heterosexual background. Yeah, you have a marvelous, you really do. You have a soothing, marvelous, I would listen to you if you were like on radio, like doing sports, or if you were like, you have that kind of voice,
Should I do like a Barry White album or something? We got it together, didn't we, baby?
Yeah, if you want to be popular in prison.
Next up, Sterling Martin.
Well, you're almost doing a Batman thing over there, kind of. So
I haven't hit puberty yet. So I can't get the voice. But also, I appreciate we're all old enough to know and appreciate that when you said marvelous, you didn't do the Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
You're a real mom.
Because like honestly, who when you hear someone say marvelous, almost anyone right away will go into the Billy Crystal. It was nice to. I don't hear it often, but it was nice to know.
We play this bit. We do this bit on stage where we have the audience write out a line of just anything they want us to say on stage. It could be from a movie. It could be from a movie.
Cool.
It could be from. Sorry, I just don't like having big black things in front of my face sometimes. It brings like some memories of the '70s. No, so I. So I'm going. I'm telling you, I'm going unscorched now.
You know what? I am gonna interrupt you for a second, being that you said that.
Yeah.
Because I want to know. Let's see, where is it? I have a picture. This is it.
Oh.
I want to know what this is about.
That was when I was younger and had darker hair. The package is still the same, though. That's still the same. Because
that's good to know.
Socks don't shrink. Socks don't shrink. So that picture's still the same. But that was when I was younger, and that was when I was that was when I was a male dancer, and I just stopped being a cop. And no, actually, it was when I was a cop, and I got hurt, and I was off overtime. And I went back to male dancing because I did it in my college days.
Oh,
and
wow.
then as soon as I was able to leave the police department, I stopped.
I didn't know you were a dancer until I saw that picture. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it was my younger days when I had full dark hair.
I hear you. Hey, I hear you.
Look who I'm talking to. We're all gray or thinning here, you know what I mean? So
coincidentally, I wanted to be a dancer, but then Chris Farley ruined it for me. I thought I had maybe found a niche, and then they flat out told him all the reasons why they were picking Patrick Swayze over him. I'm like, touche. I guess
you guys could have recreated that thing together. Yeah.
Damn you, Farley.
So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. We were talking about.
That
Billy
story.
Crystal,
It's already trumped. It doesn't even matter now.
Oh, okay.
It's not now. I would take a step down in humor in my story. So it wouldn't matter.
Billy Crystal is actually one of my favorite stand-ups.
Yeah?
Yeah, to this day. Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he gets really the credit. He's not known or remembered for it so much as his acting.
Yeah, but he was a great stand-up.
He was great. I used to love his stuff.
There was HBO or Showtime special where he was in like Leningrad, back around the same time that Billy Joel had played. I want to say
really?
like late '80s.
Yeah. I think 87.
Billy Joel
I
had
say.
done
the Russia shows.
Russian shows. I remember them making like a concert movie out of it, and around that time, it was like around the time of Yakov Smirnoff too.
Okay.
Like towards the end of Yakov though,
right.
where he was like teaching everyone, like those of you that are in the audience, how to speak Russian, but it was like they were Russian already.
Right. Oh.
But
His
Yeah.
stand up is great. Or was
Yeah.
great. He did
It
a
was
lot of
great. Yeah, he doesn't really seem to. Yes.
You know, he did an Ali Cosell bit.
Yes.
You know, he did a lot of different
Sammy
impersonations.
Davis Jr.
Yeah. He graduated from what, Nassau Community, right?
Yes. He's Long Beach.
Yeah, Long Beach
guy.
kid, right?
So there you go. Yeah.
Right.
Nassau Community alum.
Theater or
No, not as exciting. I was accounting and then business administration.
just as important.
True.
Because someone's got to count all Billy Crystal's money.
Yeah, and
Just as
then
important.
I became a teacher instead.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's very important.
Yeah, I went
It
to
sure
Nassau and then Malloy, and then
You still teach?
yeah.
That's very important, man. It's very important.
And it's not.
That's why I'm free today.
Yeah. Right.
and
I tell you, I got teachers that I still remember. I don't remember. I do remember bad ones, but but the good ones, I remember instilling certain things in my character.
Absolutely.
And to this day, I speak of them fondly. Some have passed. Some are still here that I don't know where they are. And one in particular had such a great ass. She's still alive, actually. I saw her on Facebook. She would, she really did. And in those days, they didn't wear thongs, so you can see, but still it was like bikini, but you know what I mean?
underalls.
Yeah, because it was shapely. It was shapely. And I'd be like, every guy would say, you know what? I just learned better when you write on the board. Oh, okay. Just turn around.
No, erase that. Vigorously erase that.
She had long blonde hair like Farrah Fawcett.
Wow.
She had blue eyes. Her smile was, all right, it was a little, on the horsish side. But still.
But she can erase.
But she could erase like nobody's business, man. Nobody's
Her
business.
fast cursive just. It got me there. What can I say?
Well, what school did you go to? They had a teacher look like Farrah Fawcett.
Well, her hair looked like Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, all right.
And her body was smoking.
Wow.
I went to a school that doesn't exist anymore because it merged.
Oh.
So I'm originally from Brooklyn, but then I moved out to Comac, Long Island, and I
Right.
graduated from Comac South High School, which is now Comac High School.
Yeah.
Great high school, actually.
Jeez, I had the same teachers as I went to the same high school as my mother and had the same freaking teachers. My teachers did not have killer bodies.
So you weren't asking them to...
Erase anything,
Yeah,
no. Erase my memory, maybe.
But at least they could tell you the Civil War in detail from experience.
That's true.
It's true.
There's always like that teacher that you were convinced they were standing there. The school was built around them. They were just sitting there talking about, reading the 3 R's.
Right.
And, little by little, the cornerstones and the bricks were put around. The dirt was made around them too. That's how old
When it was brought in by the horse and carriage.
Yeah.
And how long you been teaching?
17 years.
Oh, it has been that long.
Yeah, I was in sale. I went from because I had a business degree. I was in sales and marketing for a few years and purchasing before I changed careers. I mean, I like the people. I always liked the people I worked with, but I was miserable. My job was making me miserable.
Yeah, I hear you.
And but I loved the people I worked with. But it was like when I changed schools, when I got my associates and then was going for my bachelor's. Like most astute academic people, I chose a college because I could play lacrosse there. I didn't really go for the academics. I didn't play at Nassau, and then there was this. Malloy was building up a men's team, and a lot of guys I knew from Nassau that I knew when I played in high school, were transferring over, and that's why I got to meet guys that were going to be teachers. Because all I knew about Malloy was that it was mostly girls. I didn't know that guys went to school. And then it was like 10%. It was 10% guys. I was like, okay,
Really? At Malloy, really?
Selling point for me.
Yeah, that works.
It was like 2,000 to 2,500. Now they've blown. Now it's Malloy University.
Right. Yes.
They've got dorms and stuff. They didn't have that when I was there.
Did I have nursing there too?
Yes.
Yeah. So nursing, I think nursing is still
That's like
their biggest
the main thing.
draw.
Yeah.
But teaching is great too. And the teachers I had for business even they were the nicest people, and they were all established. One was a senior VP at I can't even think of the name right now, but this pre 9/11. So all these late 90s, the teachers that I had there, but they were in corporate finance. They were all big shots that were professors there during the day or at night, and then had making 6 to 7 figures during the.
Oh, no.
Oh, really? So they were still doing their job and then teaching.
My finance and banking professors, yeah. But then there were some that worked during the day. Obviously, they were retired senior VPs from wherever that became professors. But it wasn't like they weren't unqualified. But the guys that I knew from school, a lot of them were teacher major. I was like, oh man, that'd be cool. But I was paying for school and working 2 jobs, and it was everybody's sad story. But
Yeah, right.
But I was like, you know what? It was something I always wish I wanted to do. And then when I was dating my wife, I was like on the verge of a nervous breakdown at work, and I was like, I just wish I had been a teacher. She's a teacher, and I was like, I wish I had been a teacher. And she's like, so why don't you? And it was like, it's that moment of clarity, like. It sounded like just an easy comment, but I needed to hear that from somebody.
You like the what is it? The affirmation.
Yeah,
you can do it.
Yeah,
Right.
she was like, "Why don't you?" And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Oh shit! I guess so.
Sometimes we got to get out of our own head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
we put up our
absolutely
own
right.
roadblocks or obstacles, and then we have someone else with some clarity going, yeah, why don't? There's really no reason why I can't do this.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's the case probably more these days. I mean, for most, I mean, you had it, almost 20 years ago, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of people
Yeah.
need that.
Even
need that
even
now.
now, even right during the pandemic, how many people, no matter what job they had, are like, you know what? I'm.
That's what
moving
I'm saying,
forward.
right?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Right. So many people started thinking out of the box,
put their life in
leaving their
perspective,
jobs.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, life
right.
in perspective. It definitely. You started saying to yourself, your time here is finite. you
Yes.
know, and I'm wasting this. And Long Island's an anomaly to the rest of the country because we are an island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you go, very few people come from somewhere else to Long Island.
Right.
But when you go, if you're on the road or if you've traveled or if you go to Las Vegas, right, that's like the extreme. Nobody from Las Vegas is really from Las Vegas. I mean,
Right.
even now they are, but
Right.
back, in the 90s or whatever, nobody was from there.
Yeah.
But Long Island sells you this bill of goods going, if you're not from here, you have to have, all your friends, you got to stay friends with your high school friends, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Life doesn't really work like that. And then we forget that, well, maybe this isn't what I want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to venture out.
Yeah.
And I think the pandemic taught us, like, you know what? This is real expensive here. The city is overridden with crime. We can't utilize the joys of it like we once did,
Right.
as safely as we once
Yeah.
did. So if I can't utilize what I once had, and I'm paying through the nose here, and it's getting more and more crowd, and then all of a sudden, and the pandemic allows you to work from home and do remote.
Right.
Maybe I can leave.
Right.
So
Sounds
you
like
see it.
somebody's leaving.
So I got to catch plane.
So that show you canceled is when?
Right.
And they need how many minutes?
Speaking of lacrosse, have you checked out the Riptide?
No, I mean,
They suck.
do they really?
Is that
Oh,
a
it's
motel in Long
awful.
Beach?
That's a whole.
Is that a short stay motel?
That place doesn't suck. No, this is the indoor lacrosse team at the Coliseum.
Are they? They're really not good.
Oh, it's
I remember the
bad.
Saints, like when I was a kid.
Oh, I love
like,
the Saints.
Late '80s,
They
mid '80s.
played at the Coliseum
The
too.
New York Saints, yeah. And then they changed the names though. It was
The
they went
Knights.
from Knights.
Yep.
They were the ones that went half at the Garden and half at the Coliseum.
Right, and they last, I think, 1 year.
Yeah, I had
Or
a couple
maybe two.
buddies
But...
that played for the Saints back in the day.
Oh, yeah? Who?
Yeah, Steve Galuli.
Oh, sure, I remember him.
Yeah, he's from my town.
Was there a guy, Mike McGinley? He was a Hofstra guy who was big in lacrosse. He was a nice guy. I actually met him a couple times.
I don't know.
I think he
remember
played
that
for them,
name.
but okay.
Yeah, I don't remember that name.
I don't know. I remember like Steve was like one of the from like 80, maybe not 85, like 87, 88.
Yeah, I think it was 88, if I remember right,
Yeah.
or maybe even 89 when they first started over there at the
Yeah,
Coliseum.
because I remember the Islander games were on. They went from like WNEW or BAB to WRCN,
Right.
and then they would do the Saint commercial, the New York Saints commercial, and be like $15 a seat, but you only need the edge.
I got a question for you because I don't get the lacrosse thing, but I'm always interested in things. So how does it get a lot of audience at these events?
I would say the audience you're gonna get. There's a niche group, like certain comics have a certain following.
Right.
Right. You get pretty much high school kids. You knew where I was going.
Yeah, I know what you meant there, yeah.
Prior conversation. High school. You're gonna get high school kids that are getting dropped off. You're not. I don't think you're getting any college kids because they're like, I could do that. Dads our age
Right.
are bringing their little
The
kids.
little kids, right.
That a lot of times it's dads that never played that want their kids.
Yeah,
oh,
they
yeah,
want to
yeah,
bond.
yeah.
Yeah, you want to bond.
I wouldn't take my son to one of those.
Because
games.
I asked this because when I was a kid, baseball was the thing.
Right.
So every
Yeah.
baseball diamond, there was a 10 o'clock, a 1 o'clock, a 4 o'clock game. It was just every
Yeah,
and you couldn't go past the field without every baseball field.
Yeah.
Now I walk my dog on a Saturday afternoon, and on baseball fields there's nobody there. But soccer has taken it over.
Right.
Everything
Yeah.
is like 20 soccer fields. My daughter played. I never thought I'd be on the sideline, screaming like a nut for a 12-year-old. But I mean now she's in college. But it was, all these years was, and it was one of my favorite things to do is go cheer them on.
Oh, yeah.
But I also noticed that there's a lacrosse field all over the place, and it's such a popular sport, but it can never monetize itself because I think people just
Well, when the Saints were winning, like any sport, when they were winning, the place was filling up.
was it.
But I don't know who owned it. I don't know the details behind it. But when they won a few years, and they were at least in it for a few years, so they were packing. But eventually, they didn't put the time and money into it. The team wasn't doing well, and sure enough, you saw the attendance really start to dwindle until they folded. I want to say early 2000s. They tried it again with the Knights.
But then there's the major lacrosse league, the outdoor league. Like that was something
Right.
that. So it's totally different because when you're inside, you have what they call box lacrosse. That's big in Canada too, and also like when you're in high school, and it's the winter, you can only play box lacrosse. In Canada, same thing. When the rinks in the summertime, springtime, the rinks are melted, they play box lacrosse. So it's great if you're an offensive guy. It's great for leg work and offensive and get pass and stuff, but it's not realistic when you're playing out in the field. As a goalie, I played very limited box lacrosse and I hated it because you're just a target. There's really no defense going on.
Gotcha.
It's just shooting drills against you. So it's really good. You're gonna face 50 shots. You're not gonna see them like that up close a lot of times. And the guys that play, the goalies wear super padding.
I was just saying, let me get this straight. So they get to whip a freaking hard, like rubberized
Yes.
ball at you,
Yeah.
and you have to try and stop it.
Yeah, so box lacrosse, they can come in a lot closer.
And your IQ is, because you're a teacher, and you were sitting
Yeah.
there taking these shots, 50,
yeah.
right? See, I don't.
Well, I
what
also
would
have
make someone want to do
I also
that?
have guys that are 6'4" with a 6 foot, 5 to 6 foot
Penis.
defensive stick. No, but like when you're playing out on the field,
Yeah.
you have defensemen that they have a 5 to 6 foot stick, and they're keeping guys at bay.
But you still face 50 shots.
You're not if your team sucks, you're facing 50 shots. If you face like 10 to 20
okay.
maybe, like that's 10 to 20 is probably more accurate. But those shots aren't always like point blank. The offensive and defensive skill, the plays are almost identical to basketball. So really, you're either taking a guy up to the top and trying to do a one-on-one off a pick, or you're passing the ball around and changing direction. That when you get a guy in on defense out of position, then you know that's the guy that's going to shoot the ball, exactly like basketball.
Gotcha.
But when you're playing indoors, it's very different. A lot of times it's
Right. These guys are losing
Teeth.
teeth.
Yeah.
But the scores are anywhere from like the other team is getting anywhere from 7 to 13 goals.
Yeah.
Usually around the 10 goal mark. So that's like hockey. That's like insanely high.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of how much they are shooting at the net when they're scoring. 10. So you probably are. It probably is more like 40 to 50 shots on goal when the score is that high.
Indoor, yeah.
Yeah, indoor. Yeah, yeah.
And the goalies that play indoor though are loaded up like more padding than a hockey goalie.
Yeah,
And
right.
even when they hold the stick, they're like when you're playing out,
Yeah.
and it's like the strainer from a pool. So you're like this, and you can make the shots. You have to have fast reflexes. IQ you don't need, but fast reflexes you do. But the indoor goalie is so different because you're literally stacked. Like you look like me sewn next to me, sideways. The goal only comes up about this high. It's almost like a hockey goal. There's so little room to score. That how do you get that ball in? It's when it's the same idea. You're really using more of your body than the stick when you play indoor. But when you're a kid playing, because it's wintertime and you can't go on the field yet, you're not wearing all those pads. You're wearing the limited equipment you have when you play in the spring. Which that's what I was saying. As a goalie, it sucks to play for those guys though. You put me in the net, you put me half of those pads, I'm stopping almost every shot.
Yeah, sure.
I say that now.
Yeah, right.
A nice bath later and some stims on my legs.
All right, I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. What was going on in Lake George with the Marines?
Oh, that was my partner Vinny Mark.
Yeah.
He's just a great human being. He really is. His unfortunately his wife has a very rare disease called PSP. It's progressive supranuclear palsy, and it's just bad. It's like a cross between Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and Lou Gehrig's.
Yeah, sure.
So it's just it's really bad. Anyway, so Vinny lives up there in Lake George, and he's in with a lot of, because they love him up there. So he's in with the Marines, who does these. This one was a Marine Corps toys for girls and boys.
Oh, okay.
So it's not the Toys for Tots, but it's the same premise.
Yeah.
Right. And the Marines are usually involved in both, if I'm not mistaken.
They are. Yeah. So I never heard of this one because everyone always says Toys for Tots.
Right.
My daughter married a Marine, and she got they did there in Delaware, and they did it Toys for Tots. So anyway, they asked us to do a show, so we said give us half price, put the other half price back, and then I got the idea. I said, Vin, I'm going to tap into some of my friends. And I've been fortunate, like my friends that I graduated Hofstra with, and some of the guys from Comac South High School. They came through, man. I mean, I didn't ask for much, but I literally got the quota filled in like a day.
Wow.
First I put it on Facebook, and I don't know. I know Facebook does this shadow whatever. I don't know what.
Oh, shadow ban?
Yeah, whatever they do. Sometimes people see it, sometimes they don't. 'Cause
Yeah.
Some people will see some of my posts, and they'll get, all these clicks. And then some, it's like, that's a nice post, but why aren't they seeing it? And I'm only getting 3.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. So I got donated. I only asked for $1,000. I ended up getting like 1,300, but they take some fees, so we're close to 1,300.
Okay.
So what I did was I just said, I asked, there are people less fortunate, especially in today's economy, and again, I make it political, but it sucks right now. When people say, oh well, it's not this was, fuck you, it is someone's fault. When you go from gas prices up, I don't give a fuck about what letter R or D in front of it. Fuck you. When there's gas prices, because I was raised by a single mom. I knew it was a time when I said to my mother, we were at 1971 Dodge Dart. I'm sorry, 67 Dodge Dart. And we pulled into the gas station in the 70s, and she said $5 regular, $5 regular, or $3 regular. I said, Mom, why don't you fill up? You get better gas mileage when you fill up. We had no muffler on the car, by the way. And she said, because I only got $5 in my purse. I don't have any more money.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. And I was only 11 years old, because it was right after my father passed away. And we had no money. And we had Christmases, Hanukkahs. I got 10 records. They were 99 cents a piece. I got 10 records as a gift. And I didn't care because I knew my mother couldn't afford any more. Mm-hmm. So I was happy with that. And I swear to God, that's a true story. And I said, these kids need it. And the Marines told me last year, 2 years ago, they had like 300 families. 200 to 300 families. Last year, 600 families.
Wow.
This year, 1,200 families tapped in for gifts. And when I heard that, I asked my friends, I said, listen, I only have so much room in my Jeep, but I'll raise $1,000. 200, 150. Boom. I got, like I said, I came out to 13 and change, but with the fees or whatever it was. So I went up and I said, I'm going to go to the stores. I went to TJ Maxx because good prices on toys. And I went to Target, which is more expensive. But I went to TJ Maxx. I loaded up with toys and, good toys. It was really good stuff. And I just went up there. I said, all I need you guys to help is just to have the Marines come out and unload the car. Because I packed the Jeep, And they gave us, I couldn't believe they gave us like an award. And a Marine was actually crying.
Oh, wow.
Because it was just meant, because
It moved, yeah.
Yeah, because 600, and I got an email from a guy who I did a TV show with, who was my show on Amazon.
Yep.
So he did it, and he said, Scott, I was down and out on my luck at one point, and I wrote to the Marines, and we had to go. And because I wrote to them, they came out, pulled me off the line, and there's a whole line full of families. And they gave my kid an Xbox.
Wow.
And he said he'd never forget it, to help others.
Yeah.
Brought tears to his eyes because his kids were so happy. And, people need stuff. We don't realize how fortunate. If you got a roof over your head and you got warmth and you got a car, you're better than so many people.
Yes.
And these people that I know people that are out in the Hamptons, are out in, rich people Upper East Side, people that have inherited money, and they forget.
Yeah.
They forget.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And you can't.
I think that's the positive to this. you're talking about more families who put in for it, but there were but getting more donations. I do Toys for Tots drive as well through the PAL.
Oh, yeah, great organization.
Absolutely. We've talked about it. We doubled the amount of donations this year, which we didn't see coming. We were shocked, but I mean, more people needed it. But
and thank God there are people in these times that realize, oh boy, that guy that wasn't on 58th Street, because I used to walk in the city and I never saw homeless. Now all of a sudden I see 3. Yeah. So the people who are paying attention, they donate more. Yeah. That's just the way America is.
Right.
You got half of America that says, go fuck yourself. You got the other half of America goes, let's help out.
Yeah. We were at the...
Actually, it's probably more than that. Probably more people help out than say, go fuck yourself.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We were at the PAL building. It was... Because we had a big ceremony the night the Marines came to get the Toys for Tots boxes, and we had some other stuff going on. So this was about maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So about a week before, I was at the PAL building doing whatever I had to do. And the boxes are out so people can throw the toys in. And there was another, I'm with the special needs unit. There was another, I think it was Hicksville PAL was using the gym for a basketball game. These parents walk in, with their son. He's going to go play basketball. And they also had the little girl looked like 3. And I was down the hall, and I don't know what it was. I don't know. I just kept my eye. All right, and I'm looking at this girl. And she's looking at one of the Toys for the Tots boxes. She calls the mother over. The mother's, and they're both looking. The mother goes into the gym. The father comes out, and again, I don't know why. I just had a feeling, and I'm watching the father. Sure enough, and he's sifting through, and he pulls a little board game out and hands it to his kid, and his kid goes into the gym with it. I'm like, son of a bitch. So the guy coaching, coincidentally, is a guy that I went to high school with. Don't know him well, but we remembered each other. So good enough. I went to him. I said, John, you remember those parents? Do you know those parents? He was like, I coached their kid. He goes, I don't really know them, but I know who they are. So I told him, I said, the father you see that box right there? I said, the father just took that. He's like, really? I said, yeah. I said, I'm just letting you know because I'm going to go say something. I said, but you're in charge here, so I just wanted you to know what's going on before I walk over there.
I thought you were going to say, set up a pick. I'm going to run this girl over and then slam dunk and teabag a father from the rim. Sorry.
Drop kick the kid.
I'm going to Team Wolf. Whoa! Just hang like Charles Barkley against the Lithuanians.
And that was the thing. I didn't want to be the guy that was going to go up to the 3-year-old. Yeah. And scar her for life, and she'll never forget my face, and 20 years from now, she comes up to me. So she happened to, she's just running all around doing what little kids do. So I took the opportunity, I went to the parents, I introduced myself. Hi, I'm Tony Walker, I'm president of Special Needs PAL. I said, we're running a Toys for Tots drive. They go, oh, okay. I said to them flat, I said, I'm not going to be the one that's going to take this toy away from your kid. I said, but you do realize what you did, right? And again, they immediately, they knew they were nailed.
Right.
Oh, we took it because we're going to teach her a lesson.
What's the lesson? How to
I go, oh, really? I wasn't buying this for a second.
Yeah.
And the mother goes, oh, she's just following the husband's lead, just repeating him. Yes, teaching her a lesson. So I turned to the father. I just kind of gave him like I'm not buying this line of shit face. And I'll admit too, I was so shocked at this answer. I didn't even know what to say. But again, I gave him a face, and he goes, yeah, we're going to put it back. And that's when I said, yeah. I go, yes, you are going to put it back. He goes, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll put it back. We're just trying to teach her a lesson. At this point, I'm starting to walk away. I'm thinking in my head, they know they're nailed. I don't need to go further with this. They're hopefully going to put it back. They did. About an hour later, they did walk over and put it back.
But Ace Rothstein was there with the hammer. You can have the hammer and the board game, or you can walk out of here, but you can't have both.
You could have your 3-year-old.
Put your head in a vice.
Or you could have the board game. You can't have both. You want your 3-year-old, you put the board game back. All right? And you tell every other fucking parent here, there's a new head of PAL over here. And there's not going to be any more board game stealing.
You know what? I get calls from the CYO back home that think I'm bitch. There's a 5-year-old. Look what they did to my potato head.
And this is why I wanted these guys in here today. Holy shit. That's my whole story. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like that.
Don't people sometimes do things that shock you so much? Like you got to stop yourself and go, "Did that just happen? Did he
That's
just say
exactly.
that?"
It's exactly it.
Because you always get somebody else when they hear the story. When they're calm or hard, they go, "I would have said, or I would have done, or you should have." Yeah, but when you're in the moment, you can't believe that someone just did that and then just lied about it.
Right.
Yeah.
It took me, give it maybe an hour to actually kind of come down from it, because I was so shocked.
Yeah.
But also kind of relieved that he didn't put up a fight, because there was no way I was backing off on this one. And it was one of those things that you get so hyped up, you're ready. And I'm not. I couldn't tell you the last time I was in a fist fight or even a major altercation like that. But I was,
as a grown man, as an adult, as someone in society, your adrenaline starts to pump.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I've never been a good. I got friends that are great under pressure, yelling, screaming. They string together a tapestry of curses that great. I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I'll yell, but I get so angry.
Right.
I gotta finally calm myself down. I'm like, yes, it's good.
The Father and Christmas story.
Yeah, and I can't. Yes, like that. Right? And I'm just not because I'm trying not to curse in front of kids.
Right.
But because I'm just, like one of those bad cursers. Yeah. Like, I'll lick your balls.
That's my dad. My dad goes from my dad goes.
Yeah, you want your ass licked? I'll do it right here.
Now I want to make you mad just to hear you say that.
My dad goes from 0 to like closeted Tourette's. And I'll never forget.
Is he one of those that you don't even see it coming? All of a sudden it just comes out? Scares the shit out of me every time.
And the thing is, all of us now, it's been a while since we tried to, but we used to deliberately get him riled up as adults just to see, and look at, and he'd catch on and go, he looks, but he gives himself a second to realize, I know what you're doing.
Right,
I'm not
right.
But mentally he's already there. He just needs a push. But it's funny you said that too, about the ball licking. There was a time.
Funny story.
His father and ball licking. I'm a little nervous.
I was in high school or college, and I'm driving with my dad, and we're making a turn onto Main Road, and these dudes come flying over and almost sideswipe us, and my dad's got the window down, and he's like, geez, he's like, learn how to drive. And the guy goes, yeah, suck my dick. My dad goes, yeah, bring it over. And they took off.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And I remember being I remember looking at my dad first of all, you play out and they didn't. But you're gonna call their bluff.
Right.
You do. But it was
Can you imagine this sticks his dick in the window.
How do you just? Oh man! But there were a lot of and it was always road rage stuff though, where somebody did something stupid, and my dad he would say he's like what do you shit for brains? Instead what do you do for your brain? Sit on them,
right?
Or
right.
call someone shit. But he would say what do you shit for brains?
Yeah, instead of what do you got shit for brains?
Yeah.
I had a friend he came over here for when I ran the Shah fell.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He doesn't. He was trying to learn the American expressions, little by little. He's a good guy, funny as hell. And so he didn't know a lot of the expressions. So when the expression when you're kids, oh, I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah, you in what army?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He didn't quite get that. Yeah, you know somebody? Yeah. I'm gonna kick your ass. You know somebody? Yeah. You go. You the jaketch. What is jaketch? Well, it doesn't really translate, but it means your father cleans the sheets in the whorehouse. That's like a major curse. I guess in Iran, it's a major curse, but in America, it probably take a little long to say.
Yeah, right.
Your father cleans the sheets in the whorehouse.
That really guy's already gone.
Not that intimidating. Yeah.
Well, to your point of bring it over, Andy Plagenos. He always tells me if it's a road rage thing and they're yelling back and forth, if someone's yelling at him or cursing at him, he'll just look at them and go. And he says it throws them off every time. They don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
And Andy, I mean, right. He's got those big eyes. Here's Andy here. So you see this face, and he's it freaks him out.
Agitating.
Yeah. Especially coming from this.
This is great.
That was my Halloween mask.
We should have all worn one for the show. We should all worn one for it.
That's great. Let me read some comments. Comments have been coming in. Let me see if I can. There we go. New York girl says it's 11 a.m. and I'm already fed up with adulting, so I figured I would come hang out with the fun peeps. Thanks, New York girl. I'm sorry you're fed up with adulting already. What happened? Jeff Bosey says, good morning. Hello, Jeff.
Bosey.
Bosey says, oh, my God, I still remember my 5th grade teacher. She was so smoking hot. It was at that time when I realized going straight is an option. Oh, my goodness. Carol Miner, good luck tonight. I think she wrote that earlier, and I said I'm performing in Governors. Thank you, Carol. My brother Adam played lacrosse and goalie for Hicksville for outdoor and box lacrosse. Went to UMass and played goalie, and then to Adelphi. Lacrosse goalies are a different breed. Bosey, you really made a big stink about it because you wanted the board game for yourself, didn't you? Yes, that's right. I would have thrown that little 3-year-old in the garbage. Bosey says, my father used to always say, don't do anything stupid, you moron. Yes. And I'm sure he's still saying that to you today. And your father must be happy. You know, the Mets are going to have a good year.
Yeah, we got them for Christmas. My mom and dad got them Piazza and Seaver jerseys with the the pinstripe from like the early '80s, and then we surprised them with tickets to the late April game. It's a Saturday game, I think, against Atlanta.
I know Seaver passed away, but he did have a winery for a little. Does he still?
Yes.
Is still a name attached to that still?
I don't know if one of his daughters. Took it over or something.
I think so.
I think she runs the.
He was out in California, I believe, somewhere, right? Yeah.
I think I think he had one daughter or two daughters.
2, I believe.
I think it's the same one that runs like the Tom. It wasn't called the Tom Seaver organization,
but a foundation,
whatever the foundation was. I think it's the same one that that runs that. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see.
Nice.
It doesn't look like the Correa thing. Carlos Correa.
Does that look like? Does it look like it's dead now?
This guy. I don't know if you heard this guy.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. It's now like 50% that
he didn't pass the physical.
Right.
No, well he passed the physical, but then they're looking at the pins in his ankle.
Right, he passed it, but it's not like, what they thought it was going to be.
So now,
do I want to put that kind of money into somebody?
Right.
Yeah, so now they're doing exactly what the Giants did. They're now trying to renegotiate on his contract, and now like 5 more teams are saying that they're interested.
Oh my goodness!
And
if you got doubts on something like that, let him go. You don't know the next guy that comes along. Look, Piazza. I mean. If his father didn't know Tommy Lasorda, would he ever even gotten a shot?
That's right.
You know, I mean, you just don't know.
Uncle Steve's a billionaire for a reason. I trust this guy. Like, if he's going to renegotiate, I would trust this guy as much as people think he's throwing money left or right. The guy wants to win the championship, like every other owner.
I just wish he'd stop calling me because I'm not interested. I'm not playing. You know what I mean? If I can't play at the level I used to. Not for me.
I started growing a beard. He kept thinking I was Vogelback. My swing is much better, but it's...
And you're faster.
Right.
Debatable. Invisible piano I got to get rid of off my back.
And I think Verlander's going to get more innings than DeGrom will. DeGrom, I give him 3 years in Texas, and they buy his contract out.
I don't wish DeGrom harm.
Yeah.
But I also don't wish him well with Texas.
Right.
You know, and as a Met and an Islander fan, I almost feel like it's very different from John Tavares leaving. So this is the Islanders' captain a few years ago, right? This guy.
I was shocked that they did leave him go, though.
I really still can't get over that. But a lot of it was, and these are things they don't tell you about in the press. It's family. Like Tavares' wife was a registered nurse, but it's a different process to be practicing in the U.S. than in Canada, and she wanted to still continue to be a nurse. So but they don't tell you any of that stuff, you know.
Right.
DeGrom's wife wasn't happy living here. So
you can't blame her. There's a lot of people that don't want to be in certain cities. I mean, Nolan Ryan. They say, it's the worst trade in the world. Nolan Ryan did not want to re-sign with the Mets.
That's right.
He was a Texas boy.
Yeah.
Him and his family did not like a big city.
Right.
And he wanted out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even with the Angels, I watched the Face and Nolan documentary on Netflix. He couldn't wait when he went to the California Angels, 72, 73. Like his best years, career-wise, were almost those couple years with the Angels.
Oh yeah.
But he was relieved. Like it seemed like they didn't badmouth the Mets, but they were he finally had a pitching coach that would mentor him and show him the mechanics, what he was doing wrong. And not that they're saying the Mets didn't do the, but they turned it into a positive, how the Angels really wanted to help him with his mechanics and fix that. And he did phenomenal. He did marvelous as an Angel.
Yeah, there's some guys are great. Here's a great example. Angelo Dundee, right? Ali's trainer and Sugar Ray Leonard's trainer, right? if you were to try to mimic what Ali does, you couldn't.
No,
You
right.
know, so you don't. But Dundee took guys, or a lot of trainers. Customato is another one. Took guys and taught them to utilize their skills the best way they know how. You wouldn't teach Ali to fight like Tyson.
Right.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't teach Tyson to fight like Larry Holmes. It's just so you do what's best for them. So someone may have seen Nolan Ryan and gone, the New York Met pitching coach at the time may not have been able to do it.
Yeah.
But someone sees Nolan and go, with your build, with your legs,
Yeah.
with your drive,
And your arm power. Just release here.
Exactly, and it could just be that simple.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Could be that simple.
Yeah.
We need to stride, 3 inches more on the mound in order to get your ball to come down and still get a rise on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could be something simple like that.
Just
that
little
he picked out.
mechanics, and it's it.
Something like that.
I'm just reading comments. Andrew Fremder wants to know if it's snowing on the right. What does that mean? I never know what Fremder's talking about.
No.
Carol Miner says DeGrom will be happy
Tell
here.
him to mix the martini.
Yeah, right. DeGrom will be happy here in Big D. I guess that means Dallas. Carol, I don't care that you live in Texas. You're from New York. You should be cheering on the Mets. And Fremder says Tommy Lasorda sucks. The guy's dead. Leave him alone.
Did we bring up Lasorda?
We're talking about
briefly
Piazza
about
with
Piazza.
Lasorda. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's what's
Still
nothing to
one
do
of
with
the
him.
best managers.
Yeah, I
ever.
mean, that's good. And you know what's funny about DeGrom? Because I used to marvel at how he would strike guys out. But when he came back this time, he was giving up the long ball a lot.
Yeah.
So you think
Yes,
maybe two,
yes.
I don't know if it's possible, maybe the Mets saw something in his velocity, or not the velocity, because maybe the
The
movement.
exit velocity.
Right.
even. Yeah.
Because maybe the movement of the ball, because you could still throw hard, but if something's off and the ball's not, if you like when you throw a
Yeah.
cut fastball, if it takes, you guys know
Yeah.
know baseball.
Yep.
You don't hit that sweet spot of the bat. It's a difference between a home run and a pop up.
Right.
Right.
So
Well,
if your
look at
ball's
Greg
not
Maddux.
moving, you know.
Greg Max is a perfect example. Greg Max was a guy that when he knew his fastball couldn't even hit 95, I'm not throwing my fastball as much anymore. Like
Right, he became a pitcher.
He changed his game.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that was a beauty of Seaver too, and
Yeah.
and David Cohn was like that too. The finesse,
Yeah.
they knew what to do.
They're right. They knew
yeah.
how to pitch.
These, which I don't think we see much of anymore.
Yeah, but that, like you said, another telltale sign just in a game, if the pitcher doesn't have it that day or starting to lose it, is when guys connect and guys start driving it to the warning track, as opposed to a pop up and shallow center. Like
Right.
you start to realize during that game, the guy,
Right.
he's
I'd say I don't ever remember as a kid watching balls leave the stadium. I mean, when someone hits it, that exit velocity now.
yeah.
I mean, these things get
Yeah.
launched, man.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like the speed that it
Yeah.
comes up. I mean, maybe it's just because I was younger and I didn't, maybe I don't know.
But the baseballs have evolved too. Like they even
Yes.
said that the baseballs. They said that this year, right? Was it last year that the baseballs were lighter?
Yeah, I
There's
think
a
it was
different-
last year,
there's a
yeah.
different
Yeah, they
feel of
change
them.
it from year to year, and then they
Yeah.
gotta put them in like what, humidifiers or something, or right before like a certain amount of baseballs.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. If I'm at a game and and I could see, instead of watching it on TV and you get to follow that ball,
Right.
watch it leave the park. No, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
It's
yeah.
pretty
Even now,
amazing
it's
to
still
watch that
amazing.
launch
Yes.
and go up. Like when I
Yep.
was a kid, Dave Kingman.
Oh, yeah.
For the Mets.
Yep.
And Mets sucked in the 70s, like in the late 70s anyway.
Yeah.
And they could be 26 games out of first place, and you could be down 9-3
Yeah.
in the ninth inning. But if Kingman was coming up, you weren't going home early.
That's
King
right.
Kong Kingman would
That's
get
right,
up there.
because you'd want
Yeah.
to watch him maybe launch something.
Yeah.
A Kingman home run, if you're a Met fan, I guess is something to see.
Yeah.
Because that thing, it's cool when the ball goes higher than the stadium.
Right.
Right.
And it comes back
Yeah.
out. I guess it's like being in Wrigley and watching it go like across the street to the apartment buildings. or
Right.
something,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like after Kingman, Darryl Strawberry,
Mm-hmm.
and then nothing against Piazza or Robin Ventura or Hojo, but I think after Strawberry, Alonso's the next guy that
Yeah,
when
probably
they
right.
hit the ball, you just like.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked Piazza too, but like I feel like as a kid, Darryl Strawberry was the guy, lefty or righty. Everybody wished that they had that swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know?
And
It
you
looked
notice
like-
when he would swing, he was so strong with that whip.
Yeah,
The bat wasn't straight up or back. The bat was tilted over.
Yeah.
It was almost like this,
Yes.
and he would
Yeah.
get that whip.
Yep.
And when he hit a line drive, sometimes he hit it so hard it didn't have
Yeah.
enough time to get height.
yeah,
Right.
So he would scorch a ball 396 feet, into right center, hit the wall on a line drive because I mean, who hits the ball on a line? I mean,
Right.
people hit it on a line on an arc. Yeah. I mean, he's hitting like on a straight line drive. I mean, that thing was like,
he hit the Astrodome, the roof of
Yes.
the Astrodome.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
That was like that's like folk hero stuff. You know?
And he was a skinny one. I remember watching the first game when he came up. He
Yeah.
was 18 from Crenshaw High. He struck out,
Right.
I think, 3 times that night. It was all like with men on base.
Yeah.
And we're like, "You sure this guy's any good?" you know.
And and everybody says it, but you can't help but think the numbers he would have had if he. I mean, there's a happy ending there. He seems to be on a good path finally after all that
He's
trouble.
a preacher and
he's a preacher.
But here's the thing: sometimes, right? You don't know why you're the chosen one who falls or fails because now people look at a great like Darryl Strawberry and they say, "I don't want to go down that path."
Yeah.
So maybe
right.
his destiny was to, or you know, he made something of his destiny to now say, I'm going to help all these others.
Right,
Yeah.
which is what he's doing, right?
Yeah. So he turned a positive around, you know.
Absolutely.
And it sort of sucks.
All right, switching gears again. Talking about, since I got two guys in the world of comedy here, the big news coming out yesterday, Bill Cosby plans on touring next year. Following his release from prison, the comedian told Fox, I believe, a radio host, Scott Spears, in a prize appearance yesterday on WGH Talk, that he wants to get back to stand-up over the next year. When asked if he felt it was time, Cosby was convicted of sexual assault, served nearly 3 years in prison, overturned in 2021. He was going to tour last year, but didn't, over legal concerns. He last performed in 2018 before the conviction. The reality of my situation gets clearer and clearer, Cosby said. The reality that my wife and family and friends respect me and respect what I have tried to do and will continue to do when we, quote-unquote, get out of this mess. I know who my enemies happen to be, and I know why they are my enemies. And I think all told up, as you would say, where we are, where we're going, I respect people and others who have a clear viewpoint of what has happened to me. When I come out of this, I feel that I will be able to perform and be the Bill Cosby that my audience in person knows me to be. Asked if he felt this is the right time to start performing, he said yes, because there's so much fun to be had in the storytelling that I do.
So is he going to write a book called Grandfatherhood? What is he gonna? He went from America's favorite TV dad to America's favorite TV
villain
rapist.
Yeah,
TV rapist.
Well, I don't think he bounces back from that.
I don't think he bounces back either.
No.
Well, I'm not going to pay to see him.
No.
I got daughters. I'm not a judge or a jury. I wasn't sitting on that jury. I don't know all the facts. I mean,
True.
Usually when there's smoke, there's fire. Usually, not always, but more than not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Jury found if you're getting off on technicalities, but I get it. We have to have laws, but the guy's message, what he was saying prior to all this, still spot on. All the stuff he was saying in the 80s and 90s, all that stuff is all spot on about being responsible, about reaching higher, believing in yourself, all that stuff. Don't let society tell you what, don't let them pit us against each other and all that.
And chocolate cake and grapefruit juice don't go together for breakfast.
Yeah, it's not. No.
That is great. He baked the chocolate cake.
But he was great. He was great on those specials, man. But I don't know if I could. I don't know if I would. I couldn't. And not if I don't know. I won't be shelling out that.
I don't think I could detach. Yeah, I mean, I think any comedian or actor or musician that gets involved in the scandal, I think it's very tough to detach their personality off screen with how them on screen. Michael Jackson's another one.
Unless they own it, like Louis C.K. and he's humbled from it, and I don't know much about the man, never met him. But at least, I mean, at the very minimum, if he owns it, then it's up to you to accept the apology. You can only apologize.
But has he fully bounced back, do you think?
No, I don't think he has.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I'm saying I don't know if there's animosity. I don't know if there's an interest in it, but I don't think there's people protesting him now.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think, if Cosby goes to a theater, you're going to see some pushback.
Oh, absolutely. I would think so,
So I think he'll make money. He would probably make money doing a live stream, not where people comment, but I could see him make bouncing back, whatever you want to call it. I don't think he's going to make the money he used to.
Right.
But I could see Cosby making money doing a some sort of like pay-per-view, not necessarily through cable, but through some kind of live stream something.
I just think the
Yeah.
people over at Jello Pudding are going, shut the fuck up. We were just getting rid of you. Not,
Right.
Now everyone's going to know Jello Pudding and Pudding Pop. Oh, here come the jokes again.
Yeah.
Here goes sales again.
Right. Do you think the venues that had him, or the venues he could fill up prior to his scandal, do you think they would even bring him back?
I think some would. Yeah.
Some would?
I
Yeah.
think so. I don't know how many. I don't think he'd play colleges, obviously. Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
but I could see some places definitely opening a place that hasn't had the business, or they know, listen, it's a one-night thing. They're only selling a limited amount of tickets, and tickets are $100. There's going to be people that are going to see him.
He may have to
what.
four-wall to begin.
Mm-hmm.
He may just have to go out and rent these theaters on his own.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Oh, that's interesting,
and that's it. And I don't know if I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. I don't pretend to be one. I don't know if any place can say no. I'm not going to have you here.
Right.
I don't know if that would be allowed, because if you're, I mean, you know, how are you going to prove his material is more offensive than the other guy you had here?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
I don't know if you can legally do that. Can you legally just say you're not allowed to rent here? We don't want your type. Because now you can't do that because the man's
That sexual
conviction-
predator type.
But the man's conviction's been overturned.
Yeah,
So
right.
what are you supposed to
No,
say?
you're absolutely right
It's
about that. Yep.
So I think he's gonna have to four wall and hire his own PR department. And do it that way. That would be the only way I can see him doing it. Like these Westbury music fairs of 5,000
Right.
people. And
Right.
test the waters there. I mean, I don't see him doing the Garden
Right.
anytime soon.
Top of the world, man.
But he is opening for me on the road. He's available for bar mitzvahs and christenings.
Well, and speaking of working with big stars, I don't even know if you've been here. Have you been here since you worked on The Irishman? I don't even know.
I don't even remember.
Because it's been a while. So, all right, so I'll ask anyway. What was Al, did he talk to you? Was he a dick?
Al Pacino?
Yeah.
Greatest guy.
Really?
Greatest guy. Listen, again, let me predicate this. I am a nobody. So, I mean, I get on the set with them and stuff, but I did 2 movies with Al Pacino.
Oh, you did too?
Yeah, one was Paterno, and I played a football coach, and he obviously played Joe Paterno. That was an HBO movie. And then I did The Irishman.
Right.
And I got pictures with Pacino. So at the end of the Paterno movie, the coaching staff that played the coaching staff, we went up to his assistant. And I said, "Do you think we could, get a picture?" And before he even got the sentence out, I said, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
He's getting hair and makeup removed. Just meet us at the trailer afterwards. Great. He's waiting, like 15 minutes. He comes out. He's like, "Hi guys, what's up? Yeah."
Wow.
And he knows I used to be a fighter, so he's coming over. He goes, "Hey, you!" And he's like sparring with me. You know what I mean? And we're just laughing. He's like, "Come on, yeah, let's take pictures." The nicest guy.
Yeah.
When he's on the set, never does the same script. Never does a script the same way twice, but it's similar, so they can cut and match.
Yeah.
But the producers or directors, I should say, always say, "Don't forget to hit this one line. That's important.
Okay.
That's imperative." So he's got to hit it, and he's so smooth. You don't even know when he's starting, when he's rehearsing. He's so great. The Irishman had great people on it. Ray Romano. Because Ray, his older brother was a sergeant.
Oh, okay.
So, and Vinny, my partner, came up with Ray. He plays golf with Ray. He plays golf with Ray and Kevin James and all that. And they have a great rapport. So Vinny's like, "Go tell Ray whatever he told me, talking about golf." And then Ray was like, "Go tell Vinny he's fat." So then I was hanging out with Ray Romano. He's like, "Yeah, come on, take pictures too." So Pacino could not have been nicer.
Wow.
De Niro's on the other end of that spectrum.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not even allowed to look at him. He sits by himself. He's got to have someone carry his umbrella if it's too high.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
it's like, this is a guy who's supposed to be a tough guy,
Right.
Great actor. Can't
Oh,
take it
yeah,
away from him.
absolutely.
But you know what? You still be a human being.
Yeah.
You can make eye contact
Yeah.
with people.
Right.
You
Oh,
can
yeah,
say
you watch
hello.
him on talk shows. He has a hard time smiling, for crying out
You
loud.
can say
yeah.
hello to regular people, man.
Right.
I'm not saying you got to
Absolutely.
sign autographs and take pictures. You're
Right.
professional. You got to get in
Of
there.
course.
Normal.
I get
it.
if you're shy, but don't be a douche.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
someone walks by, he's purposely trying not to make eye contact with you,
Yeah,
so he
that
doesn't have to
sucks.
say hello to you, low
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Right.
And Pacino walks in and says, "Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, guys? Ready to go? Ready to go to work? Ready to happen?" 2 different personalities, sure, but you can just tell when someone's a douche.
Yep.
So
Wow.
Which brings us back to why you fell in love with that teacher of yours. Because she had a great ass! So that's one of my favorite Pacino lines. I can't do it
absolutely.
impression of it, but in Heat,
Heat.
you got your head all the way up it.
I just watched that about 2 weeks
Any
ago. I
of
just
it
watched Heat. No, Heat.
Oh, Heat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what he doesn't get credit for enough? He has so many great movies. Remember Sea of Love?
Oh, with John Goodman and
Michelle Pfeiffer.
No, Barkin.
Oh no, that's Frankie and Johnny.
oh yeah, Frank. That was good too. I like that
Frankie
one.
Johnny was great. That was with Pfeiffer.
Yeah, yeah.
I love Pacino in his movies, man.
Yep.
I mean, Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing was shot in one spot.
Right.
It was all shot in a bank.
Yep.
I mean, you're captivating an audience. It's like a Broadway play.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's all right there in the bank, except for the end when he gets shot in the head.
And it's funny you say that. A friend of mine years ago, I want to say maybe in the early to mid '90s, something. He did Othello.
Oh yeah.
Pacino did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And a friend of mine said he was awful.
Really?
Awful, yeah. And you almost feel bad, like you want to. No, it's Al Pacino. You want it to be
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
but yeah, my friend of mine saw it, said he was terrible.
He's the best part of Jack and Jill with Adam Sandler. I like Adam Sandler. That movie was not good, but he's.
I don't even remember that movie.
I don't remember. I
Pacino
don't
is
remember a
in
minute.
love. He's doing. They're on a cruise. Jack and Jill is Adam Sandler plays himself and his twin sister, and Al Pacino is in love with the sister.
Really?
And they're on like a cruise. He's not in it for much, but it's like one of the funniest parts of the movie is that he's doing like theater on the cruise ship, and he's like professing his love for her throughout the whole
Really?
time. But, yeah,
I've never
I don't
even
remember
heard of
much
this movie.
but I
Yeah.
remember being like, dude, really? Like you're in this? It just didn't seem like he would fit in it, but it's
Right.
so funny to see him.
I'll have to look
in
that
it.
up.
He's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood too.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, at the
Yes.
steakhouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course, Donnie Brasco. How do you not
yeah.
root for Donnie? Don't say nothing, Donnie. I'm like, oh my god, like that's such a sad scene.
Yeah.
To watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boats. Talking about boats.
Did you ever see on
I have
YouTube?
that bird from north, west, southeast.
On YouTube, the band Chicago. There's some YouTube video of them. They're doing a show, and one of the band members walks off the stage, comes back. It has Al Pacino by the arm.
Oh, really?
And he's just standing. He just stands on stage. He's just dancing. Like he didn't know what to do to himself. It goes on way too long, but
Well,
it's
that's
funny
it.
the first 30 seconds. Just see
Not
him
to
dancing,
go-
doing nothing.
Not to go full circle, but Al Pacino and Bill Cosby, one of the best Al Pacino impressions. Kevin Spacey is another dude.
Yeah.
That
That's right.
the charges were like dropped. I thought.
Kevin Bacon?
No,
No.
Spacey.
Oh, Spacey. Yes.
They finally went criminal, right? Is it still?
No,
Oh,
I
is
think
it? No, I
I
thought
think
he-
you're right.
I
I
thought
think
he-
they dropped some.
I thought they dropped the charges.
Oh,
Was it
okay.
all
You're
of it
right.
though, or just some of them?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Maybe
I
you're
bet
right.
It's not my show. I don't do the research.
Shit.
A real professional would have this.
We'll be back after this. Well, maybe you guys could tell us. All you guys watching. Let's see.
I'll look it up. I was just thinking about that.
I heard Cosby uses Jell-O for the pudding. Yeah. Bose, you got to do the working thing. Hope everyone has a happy New Year. You too, Jeff. Fremder, Cosby's favorite Disney bedtime story is Sleeping Booty. Cosby's getting off on more than just technicalities. Bose says, I can see Cosby's new album being called Thrills, Pills, and Spills. Fremder says, Cosby filled up more than just a few venues. Yes.
No, he's got 7 new charges. Never mind.
Oh, he's got 7 new charges.
In October, he was beating a libel case, but now all of a sudden,
Right, that was right.
November, he's got
Then they
7 new
hit him
charges.
criminally.
Oh, wow.
And he's done. I mean,
Oh, well.
He's
Oh,
for
he's
now.
done.
He's
Yeah,
done. And he
he's
was
done.
a great actor.
Yeah.
He's done. You guys, either one of you know John Joseph?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a similar story where he worked on a movie with Paul Newman, and they kind of were they got a little friendly. And then I think it was like 5 years later, he worked on some other movie with Paul Newman, and then Newman walked up to him and made some kind of reference to the other movie they worked on together. Newman remembered him.
Makes you feel like $1 million.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he tells it all the time. But yeah, that was and that's amazing to me.
We were at the Borgata with on a show with John. It was me, Vinny, Mark, Joey Cola, Richie Minervini was there. So and I hope I got everybody because I when I see those, to me those guys are superstars because they were
Yes.
around in the 80s,
Agreed.
late 70s. Mulrooney's another one, Bob Nelson. Those guys to me are
Yes.
comedy
Yeah.
gods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because those guys were real comedians when they
Yes.
were paying well. You know,
Right.
I mean, and they were on the road, and they would. Comedians would get in a car and they would go and they would do. You know?
Right.
So we were at the Borgata, and I think it was Joey Cola goes, watch this, and we're it was the next morning. We're like in the coffee shop, and he just go up to him and they go, "Oh my God, it's John Joseph. Can we get a picture? So now we're all going, can we get a picture? John, can we get pictures? Can we get... And now people are walking by going, who the fuck's John Joseph? But I want a picture. Can we get a picture with you? And he's like, yeah.
That's fantastic.
People literally walking through the Borgata going, he must be somebody.
I was sitting in Zorn's, sitting in the chicken place. This is, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I have a friend of mine who I talk about on the show often. His name is Elio Pace. He's a musician in England. And for a while, he was a band leader on a talk show, kind of like a Paul Schaefer type. So his stature was raised a little bit through that show. So now he tours England a lot, and he does theaters, and he's a little bit of a name. And he does a Billy Joel show, and it sells theaters all over the place. So he was here, and so he came in, and we did the show. So we went to Zorn's after for lunch, and we're still just talking about his career. We're talking about Billy Joel. We're doing all this stuff, and this guy comes over who was sitting 2 booths away, comes walking over. He goes, I couldn't help but hear you guys were talking about Billy Joel. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So I thought he was going to ask, maybe say, I've seen you on YouTube, or I've been to England, I've seen your show. He turns to me. He says, are you Mike Del Giudice? Mike Del Giudice is big shot, and he plays in Billy Joel's band. So I was like, yeah. This guy got up. We took so many pictures. He brought his family over. We took a bunch of pictures. And I know Mike, so I had fun, and I texted him later.
That's
said, somebody put it. And so somewhere out there, this guy's got pictures with me, and he's telling everybody it's Mike Del Giudice. Meanwhile, I look nothing like the man, which was even more the reason why I said yes.
Who's this? Who's this?
Yeah, right. People looking at it like,
my mailman? I don't know.
I remember going years ago. I was at Sunrise Mall with my wife and my daughter, and I was wearing a Mets hat on backwards, and this lady thought I was Kevin James.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I look nothing like I get it. I'm overweight, but he's thinner than that. But she was like, I'm sitting there and I'm sweating, so I took my hat off. He doesn't have black hair or gray hair, or whatever.
Right.
At the time, and she's like, I'm like, how you doing? And then it was like an older lady, walking around the top level. Comes around again. I'm a big fan of your show.
Holy
and I'm like,
shit.
What show? She's like, that Queens show, right? You're the king of Queens? And I'm like, no. I was like, I'm not Kevin James. And I started laughing, as a compliment. But I think she thought I was laughing at her. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, it's not me. I'm like, I wouldn't be in Sunrise Mall. And it was like, my daughter's 15. It was like at least 10 years ago. It was still a ghost town 10 years ago. And I was like, no. Then she walked away, and I'm like, did she think I was Patton Oswalt? I was like that bitch. I was trying to think it's like I'm more frumpy. I look more like him, like a deformed Kevin James that didn't cook right. But
I went to my wife and I went to a Christmas party, and the show Midtown that I have on Amazon.
Yes,
we've had a couple of million views.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I haven't seen all of them, but what I've seen, I really like.
It's fun now. Jeff Bezos, because the guy needs the money. It used to be free. Now he's charging 99 cents. But guy's got to make a living. So Amazon stock went a little down. Jeff's got to
he needs to build another spaceship.
Yeah, he needs the 99 cents.
Right.
So we were at the Christmas party. This Nassau cop comes to me up. He goes, I know you from somewhere. I'm like, the gym or whatever. Maybe he's built or whatever. I'm like, and he had deep dark eyes. No. So he figures, you're on that show Midtown. And I was blown away. Someone recognized me.
Yeah.
So right away, I'm being a douche to my wife. I go, I'm sorry. It must be embarrassing for you. I'm like, she's like, you're such a dick. So then the springtime, we take her father to Shea Stadium for Father's Day. We all get tickets. So I love telling the story. And I kid around. I go, I just hope, people don't bother me, Father's Day, like the Christmas party. Yeah. I wait about 3 innings. I go up. I tell the girls that seat you. I give her $20. You go, do me a favor. Wait 1 inning. Come downstairs. We're sitting right over there. I go, excuse me. I don't mean to bother you, but I just want to tell you I love your show. So I wait. Next
and
day,
she did it.
down, she comes down. She goes, Susan, I don't want to bother you, but I love your show. It's so funny. She goes back up. I was like, thank you very much. And my wife's like, oh my God, she recognized you. I go, I'm sorry. It's work, but these fans. I just want to enjoy myself. It took me about 5 years later. I said, that time, and she's your ass. I knew you paid her. Okay.
That's great.
Meanwhile, for 5 years, she's going around and telling people, someone recognized him at Chase Stadium. And they said, excuse me, I want to bother your show. It was unbelievable. So he gets a lot of views on his show.
54,000 people. He can't hide in the numbers.
Right.
I hope the movie trons doesn't come on me. Scott Baker's in the audience. Thank you.
Right next to Chris Rock. Let's go, Mick.
Right, exactly. There's Seinfeld on the screen. There's Kevin James. There's Scott Baker. So the applause almost and it just stops.
They upgraded me. Oh, that's a funny story too. So I do a charity poker. My friend, my partner in Midtown, Tom Malloy. He's like a Hollywood guy. He directs movies. He's in movies. He's out there.
Yeah.
He does it, and he has a film distribution business. So he does part of this charity poker event in LA. And he's like, "You want to come out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come out." I come out. I play in it. I'm like, "This is cool." And there's a red carpet. I'm not really one of these guys. Like I said, I'm the first one to admit I'm a nobody. But he's like, "Listen, Midtown, walk the red carpet." So real stars were there. Like Jason Alexander was there. He was a douche. So he's there. Guys, people like that. Don Most was there, who's a really nice guy.
Oh yeah.
He's a super nice guy. So people know them. So all the paparazzi on the red carpet, and they announce him who's coming in. Oh, Tom Malloy, because they know him from there because he's put it together. And Scott Baker from Midtown. Let's go get a sandwich. I'm standing on the red carpet like. Nobody taking my picture. I'm taking out my cell phone, taking my own selfie. I'm like such a dick.
You're like,
I'm like, Tom, I'm not going to walk. He said, I just walked the red carpet. You take pictures. They're not going to treat you. Trust me, they're all going to be nice to you. Tom, nobody knows me. And just because I did the sitcom with you. No, I'm not doing anything else. I'm in the background actor. I don't know. Just do it, man. They don't know. Act like you belong here. All right. And it's Scott Baker from Midtown. What do I smell?
Out of Curry Enthusiasm or something like.
Yeah, right.
Come on, I don't want to do. You're gonna walk the red carpet. I don't want to walk the red carpet. Like a whole to do, and then building up the. No one ever recognizes me. No,
it was almost humiliating because now not only did no one take my picture, but nobody even realized that I was leaving the red carpet. Like they're going all right, I got my hand in my pocket. I hope no one. This is like when. Someone sees you trip in the parking lot, and you hope no one sees it.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. I'm like, all right, I guess I get off this red carpet now, and everyone, literally, people turn their back and walk away and got hors d'oeuvres and drinks. I was like, all right, okay.
I would have stayed there longer. Screw up the next guy. Mr. Tom Cruise is waiting to get on the red carpet. I'd just stand there. You can wait.
Not until it takes my picture.
Right.
You tell Cruise.
Do you remember the show? It wasn't Love Connection, but it was like Blind Date or something on Channel 5. And it was like they would videotape someone going on a date. So Butch Patrick
from the Munsters,
was on a blind date with somebody, and they're like, "How'd it go?" And she's like, should I see? He's like, no, it's okay. He's like via satellite, and they show the footage, and he poor guy had no money on him. And so she went to a Comic-Con thing, that's where they were meeting, and he's packing up his booth or whatever, and she's like, I thought it was cool, people recognize. Hey, you're, and he wants to, can I get a picture? He's like, you got $20? And it was but again, if he was charging $20 for the thing, it's fine. But I remember being like, oh, this poor dude.
Oh yeah, really embarrassed.
And then I go to Comic-Con one time, and Mike TV from Charlie and Charlie.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him. I just kept walking by, and I'm like, who's this dude? Because obviously it's 50 years later.
Yeah.
I was like, this poor bad. I'm sure some of them make.
And they charge $20, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, some of them have to make some good money doing it.
Oh, I would think. Yeah, I just. Today's Thursday. This past.
I should charge when I go to those poker tournaments.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Scott Baker from Midtown, $20 for a picture.
He's paying you. I had Roseanne Sorrentino on here on Tuesday. She played Pepper in the 1982 Annie movie, and she's
get out of here.
Yeah, she's on the local comedy scene now. But yeah, she played Pepper in the Cal Burnett version of Annie, and she's just recently gotten into those things where she gets in. She sits there. There's Lee Majors over there taking pictures. She's starting to make a little money, and she said these Annie fans, there's a ton of them. It's got a cult following, so yeah, people coming out to find her.
I had a crush on Pepper when I was younger.
She's still a good-looking woman.
I was 6 or 7, I think, when Annie first came out.
Was she as hot as my 9th grade English teacher?
Her ass looked good.
All right.
Well, that just killed my chance of bringing Roseanne back. So to your red carpet story, I went to SUNY Farmingdale. Back in the late 80s, early 90s. And they were this was back then lip syncing was still kind of like a thing
With
you know,
Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
all that type of
Like he
shit.
could get a
but-
Grammy. It was no big deal.
right. But there was even some lip syncing show on TV and shit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
There was a
putting
lip
on the hits.
Yeah.
Oh, was that
Adam Goodman or Adam Rich.
Adam Rich was from
8 is enough?
8 is Company. No, 3 is enough. No, got him back. 8 is enough.
One of those shows. See that we're getting old. We can't even name the shows.
I remember the dude had like a blonde perm.
Oh yes, I can
Willie
see.
Ames or Grant Goody.
The-
Adam Rich was the youngest.
Yeah,
The youngest kid. Yeah.
This was the guy that was in that movie with Brooke Shields. What's that movie with Brooke
Blue
Shields?
Lagoon?
Blue Lagoon.
yeah.
The guy from that movie. He was the guy that hosted that show.
Was it?
Yes, I don't remember his name, but as soon as you said the blonde hair, all of a sudden it all came back
Yeah.
to me. So anyway, so lip syncing was kind of a thing. So I got the guy that ran the radio station at Sumi Farmingdale. We got kind of friendly, and when I was a kid in junior high school, I had all this freaking hair, and for 1 year for Halloween, I kind of combed it all up, and I dressed up as Buckwheat from the Little Rascals for Halloween. So that was my nickname for the rest of junior high and high school. That was my nickname, Buckwheat. So I was telling the guy that one day. We became friendly. I don't remember how it came up, but somehow. But he convinces me to do this lip sync thing. He wasn't getting a lot of contestants. He's like, I want to get some people. Can you do that? I'm like, fine, I'll do it. And he even picked a song for me. It was something. He knew I was a Beatle fan. He picked some song by Paul McCartney, right? Now the audience, the night comes. It's this lip sync show. The audience is 90% black.
Oh, they're gonna love this.
Well, that's the thing. So I'm already nervous. I'm like, they don't like Paul McCartney. But then he's hosting this event, right? So he comes to announce me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were doing Paul McCartney dressed as Buckwheat. So I was like, they're not gonna like that.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. So he comes to announce me, and he goes, the next guy is known affectionately as Buckwheat.
Oh no!
And I did. I went like, that's exactly what I did. And you see, like they were all having fun. They're kind of playfully picking on the contestants because this thing was a bad idea to do this in the first place. But they weren't being disrespectful, the audience. But you can tell they're like, what are we doing here? So they're making the best of it. They're joking around, and a lot of noise. But as soon as he said known as Buckwheat, this place went dead. Oh, and then you could see everybody was like, who exactly is nicknamed Buckwheat?
Like needle on the record.
Yes, yes.
Oh god!
I come walking on stage, dead silence. I mean, you can hear my footsteps, and the whole time I even said to him afterwards, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." So the song starts.
Not thinking at all.
Yeah, I'm 10 seconds into the song, and they're booing, and I'm like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" And I even stopped like pretending to sing. I just stood. I waited the song out, but just stood there. And then as soon as this thing was over, I packed up and I left. I couldn't believe
before
it.
You got beat up.
Yeah. It was awful. It was awful.
That's a
yeah.
Yeah, that mine wasn't a bad feeling. I just yours was like that sucks. I laughed though because I knew what I was getting into.
Right.
I was like, Tom, they're not gonna. Yeah, go. The best thing was like at that whole thing was realizing like Alexander was a total douche.
Yeah.
Oh, what an ass.
I remember years ago him being on Howard Stern, and I remember hearing stories that he was like
he is so full of himself.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I love the show. Just want to let you know I was a big fan of what you did on there. You guys made a lot of people. I was like, okay, thank you. Yeah.
Oh.
Literally, I'm not kidding. He's like, yeah, okay, like I've heard this a million times.
Right.
I don't know. He dressed like some of these people. I think maybe it's cool to maybe impersonate homeless people. He looked like a homeless Indiana Jones. He had like a satchel over here where his money was, for his his whatever, And then he had the big phony smile with other bigger stars or whatever, bigger stars, A star,
Yeah, right.
And I'm saying I didn't say it to him, but I'm like, listen, what have you done outside of Seinfeld? I know it's great. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's far more than I've ever done.
Right.
And you're a gazillionaire. But you didn't cure cancer, buddy. You made people laugh, which is fantastic. You got on a hit shows, far more talented. And he's the same dick that was like, I have read articles where he said, I told Larry David, whoever cut me out of an episode again, I'm going to quit. Yeah, what would you have done?
Right.
Because you've done so many things.
Right.
What, are you going to read the Hamlet papers again? What was he doing, the Hamilton things? I'm going to read this.
Right.
It's real
Vagina
dramatic.
monologues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Come on, what are you doing? You're still. He is just like the guy he played in
Shallow Hal.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. Yeah, Pretty Woman. I was Shallow Hal. Yeah, but no, Pretty Woman. He's just that arrogant little.
It was just like Indiana Jones. He was looking for the Raiders of the Lost career.
He's just the only reason I don't get work is because I'm typecast. No, it's because you suck. So you did have a sitcom after that, and it lasted for a cup of coffee.
I remember when Jerry Stiller was getting roasted by the Friars Club, and he hosted, and he was introducing Kevin James, and he goes, "I wanna next our next whatever roaster is on a show that should be called Everyone Loves Raymond So Much They'll Sit Through the Half-Hour Crap Before It." Kevin James comes on. He goes, "Thank you, Duckman."
Oh,
and
nice.
That's all he had done was that short-lived Comedy Central cartoon.
Right.
And you could see it killed him.
Really?
James said it. It was
Really?
yeah.
It really it got to
It you could see it piss him off. That was
good.
I knew Kevin James from the MTV show he was an announcer on with this Olympian, Summer Sanders, I think her name was. It was like short-lived. It was almost like American Gladiators, like at the beach.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that guy's funny. And then King of Queens, I remember seeing Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. But I remember like watching Kevin James on that roast. I'm like, I like this dude.
Yeah.
Because he was like, what the heck was the name? Florence Henderson. He goes, Florence Henderson. He's like, after so and so died, you're number one on my list of TV moms I want to have sex with. And she like laughs and she goes. He goes, folks, we're gonna run late tonight because I will have sex with her. I was like, you know what? Yeah, it was clearly not scripted, but it was like I like this.
Yeah, I because of Vinnie Mark, because again he came up with all these guys.
Yeah.
You know, he's very well respected and they're all friends. I was telling Vinnie we're going to be doing a show in April upstate at the Turning Stone Casino.
Okay.
So, but Mulrooney's on it. Richie Minervini's going to be on it.
That's a good show.
And I'm like a little kid at Christmas.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, I can't wait because the stories when you're just sitting there, I just.
Yeah.
And they were hanging out with this one, and Kevin's part of these stories.
Yeah.
So Kevin and Ray, and they would talk about this famous comedian, Rodney, when they used to for Rodney.
Yeah.
And then they're all doing the impersonations, and you're just sitting there. So I have the privilege of knowing these guys through Vinny and being accepted. You know.
Right.
One thing I learned as a cop: keep your mouth shut. You know.
Yes.
So don't try and show up. So when I was a cop, when I was a young cop, 24 years old, and the guy would come in who served in Vietnam. And he comes into the room. You don't sit there and pretend. You want to sit down? You get up.
That's right.
And let the 50-year-old guy,
Right.
who's already been in shootouts, you know, and everything, you sit down. You know, be respectful with anybody. You know what I mean? So that's how I am around these guys. So I'm able to listen to their stories. And I was hanging out.
They have the greatest stories, man.
The greatest stories.
Yeah.
I'm just listening, you know, to Gary Valentine's, Kevin's brother. Funny.
Yep.
Funny guy, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, Bob Nelson.
Yep.
You know, Vinny, Richie, John Mulrooney. John Mulrooney's maybe one of the funniest guys, you know.
Yeah. Well, he's coming. He's just in a few weeks. He's going to be here.
I got to come back and see him again. Because his like, to me, John was always like comedy sheriff. You know, he's got holsters on each side. Pull.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Anybody in the audience, bam, 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 bam. I love when he does this. He's joking around. He'll talk to somebody and he'll get a heckle, like from a female. And go, excuse me, the men are talking. Anyway. He's just freaking funny.
I'm trying to remember when it was, maybe earlier this year or last year. On that couch, they were having you mentioned Bob Nelson. They had that benefit for Bob Nelson.
Yeah.
So we were live in here during that show. So Bob Nelson, you know, was here. He sits on that couch. Rob Bartlett sits next to him, and the two of them, not only they're reminiscing, telling all these great stories, but then they start going into some of their old bits. I mean, it's not just a front row in a club. It's in this room, and I'm 6 feet away. Yeah. And it's my show, no less. And I'm watching these guys who I used to go see as a kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it was just as funny. They didn't forget a thing. It was it was like a dream, man.
Because you didn't have YouTube back then, so much of
Right.
that comedy gold was lost.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unless they do, like, I remember in middle school, VH1 and MTV, before Comedy Central, I remember watching guys and girls on VH1 and MTV. VH1 had Stand Up Spotlight.
Rosie
hosted by
O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
And then MTV had Mario Joyner half-hour comedy hour. And so, like, that's where I got to see Colin Quinn, oh my God, Kevin Mulrooney, right? Okay, sorry, Kevin Mullaney. Kevin Mullaney. Stop that. That's not right.
He passed away like 2-3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even longer. He was funny.
You always thinking
Kevin Meaney.
Kevin Meaney.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Mulrooney from what you said before, and I'm like, now, as I said it, in my mind, I'm like, that's not right, is what Kevin Meaney said. But Kevin Meaney, but Colin Quinn was like one of my favorites to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Dennis Leary, Lenny Clark, like Bobby Collins, all these guys. Like,
Oh, yeah.
But I remember watching them, and they were already, they were already doing stand-up at least like 5 to 10 years before you finally got to watch that. But then Comedy Central came along, and then they started doing all like, hour shows or half-hour shows. But it was like, it was nice to see, like, you got to see more and more comics, but like the Rob Bartlett, like I remember as a kid, my mom listened to Imus in the morning,
Right.
And Rob Bartlett would do songs and come on there.
Oh, yeah, he was part of Imus for 30 years.
Yeah.
You talk about Bob Nelson. Bob Nelson's a legend, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, he's sick now.
Right.
Hopefully he'll get better. We text back and forth once in a while. I always reach out to him, wishing him. He's a good guy. People don't realize he's a little shy sometimes.
Right.
But he's really, once you get talking to him, he's really, really a nice guy. But
Yeah. This has humbled him, too. This sickness has humbled him a little bit,
he was humble before, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was very religious. And
Yes, right, yeah.
Just definitely test your faith, the thing is,
Yeah.
what he's been through. And he's never given up faith, and he's kind and all that. But he's tired. You get tired. You have
Yeah.
cancer, man.
Yep.
It tires you, it beats you up.
Sure does.
And but
Sure does.
if the stories he has of opening up for Rodney, and one goes into another and goes into another of the White House. Man performed at the White House.
Right.
What do you have? 3 HBO specials. Carson 4 times.
Right.
I mean, he's no Jason Alexander, but
He doesn't know how to work Snapchat.
he doesn't have a Snapchat. He doesn't know how to work Snapchat. He doesn't have 600,000 followers on Snapchat, which makes you a big deal, apparently. Never, anyone listening on this, never equate financial success with people who actually like you.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So Carol Miner's asking, what is the name of the show on Amazon? She wants to check it out.
It's Midtown. If you just Google Scott Baker Midtown, it's 99 cents. So if you really don't want to watch it on Midtown, there are clips of it on YouTube. Just Scott
It's
Baker
worth the
Midtown.
99 cents. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, Bezos needs the money, really. So, if you can, it's Christmas time,
Papa needs a new dick rocket to go into space.
New York Girl, I had a friend on that show. I'm not I don't know if she's talking about King of Queens or on his date, he broke his nose while filming. What?
Oh, the reality dating.
The
dating show.
Oh, okay.
With Butch Patrick.
He broke his nose?
I guess. I don't know.
Butch Patrick broke his nose?
I guess.
I don't know.
Maybe, her friend broke his nose, maybe on dating.
Christopher Atkins.
Yes!
From the Blue Lagoon. He
This
hosted.
is the dude from Putting on the Hits.
Yeah, that's Christopher Atkins.
It is?
Right. That's what she's saying. New York.
Who made his money with the Atkins diet.
Exactly. New York Girl also says Jerry Stiller, her New York Girl's husband is a gaffer on many TV shows and movies. He's been in the business since the 80s. Jerry Stiller is one of her husband's favorites that he worked with many times over the years. Oh,
Well, Stiller, he's one of the old time guys. I never
yeah,
met
him and his wife, yeah.
But
And Mary,
right, they were going from the Concord to the Raleigh to the this to that. I mean, they were real comedians
Yes.
on the road.
Loved them.
And they got stories. I'm sure he would have been somebody I really would have liked to have spoken
Absolutely.
to just for the stories. I have no idea how he is. I have no idea.
Right.
But I love those old time stories.
Me too.
About what it was like to go. There's a guy. This is a real funny, quick one. If we have time.
Yeah, we got time.
So Howard Better is the Howard Better is the son of Howard Better Sr., who
That makes sense.
Yes, no relation. And so they have First Class Entertainment, big cruise bookers.
Oh, okay.
So Howard, I went to go see Howard Better Sr. when I was just introduced to get on cruises, and Howard, what a nice guy, old time, old school. I go into his office. He's got pictures of him and Sammy Davis, him
Nice.
and Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
He opened up for the Rat Pack all in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, did all these things, and he was a singer, became a comedian. Then he did singing comedy at the same time. So he was just a great guy. So he passed. His son took over. So I was hanging out with his son.
Was the son better or worse? You see what I?
Yeah, I see
Never.
what you did
Sorry.
there.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I was doing a gig at Woodlock Pines, and Howard Better came up, and we were talking after the show. And man, he told me this story. It's hysterical. So Howard is Lebanese, right? But he looks Italian. So they're at the Howard Better is opening for Frank Sinatra at what's that famous place in Florida? That big hotel, Fontainebleau.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's where Frank's got a week. So Howard Better goes up. He's like, sings really good. So Frank says, hey, come on over, have a drink with us. So Howard comes over to the table. It's a big, that the way the tables used to be, the half moons.
Yes, yes.
So he's sitting there, move over. And Frank's there. So hey, you're pretty good, kid. You got a good set of pipes, And when Frank spoke, you just listened.
Oh, yeah.
So Howard goes, yeah, thank you very much. He says, like it says, so how do you like, being in show business, get opening up, So Howard Better goes, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You're at the Fountain Blue Hotel. You're opening up for Frank Sinatra. What's so bad? He goes, well, I wish I was making your money. So Sinatra's silent, and everyone's like, oh, shit, Sinatra's going to be pissed off. And all of a sudden, Sinatra breaks into this laugh. Now everyone else can laugh because Sinatra's laughing.
Right, yes.
So he opens up, they're laughing, they're kibitzing for the whole week. Now Sinatra's about to leave. And I forget who the comedian was, but he says to the comedian, he says, do me a favor. He says, get me that Italian kid's that name. I'm going to help him out. I'm gonna,
the Italian kid.
Yeah, Italian kid. What Italian kid? The Italian kid. We're hanging out with the guy who opened. He goes, Howard? Yeah, Howard Better. Tell him I'm going to help him out. He goes, he's not Italian. He's not? No, he's Lebanese. He goes, fuck him. Have Danny Thomas help him.
Oh, man. Oh.
And that was the end of Howard. But he did end up. He ended up opening up for Sammy Davis.
Oh, okay.
Sammy Davis is opening guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it's really cool. Those are the stories though, that you love listening to these old timers talk.
Absolutely.
Did you hear how Jerry Stiller got the job on Seinfeld? I remember years ago him telling the story. This is a quick story, Tony.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
So him and Ann Mira, they had done their shows, and he hadn't been able to get work. And he's auditioned here, and here, hadn't been able to get work. And George's father, according to the script, is just supposed to say yes, dear, no, dear, be very calm and passive. And they already knew that the one that was going to play the mom had the role. And he's like, that high pitch, I forget what show he is, but he's like, that high pitched scream. And I was like, yes, dear, you're right, dear. And he goes, and I knew I was getting on that plane and I didn't have the job. And he's like, and all the thank you, we're not interested. He's like, it just got to him. And he goes, and then I said, would you shut up and listen to me? Like, he just had to blow up. And it wasn't on the script. And they, looked. And he goes, just for my own sanity, I had to get that out. He's like, because I knew I was going on the plane back to L.A.
This is what he did in the reading?
In the reading.
Yeah.
And by the time he got to the plane, they hired him. And they said it was because of that outburst.
Because he followed his gut.
And they're like, we're going to change it. That Frank Costanza is not going to be the passive yes. He's going to just boil up with rage, and that'll explain part of George's neuroses.
Right.
And it worked perfect.
Yeah.
Well, and no surprise, because the man was a genius. Him and his wife were fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a cool story, too. Wow.
That's how I got hired as a teacher. I just told my principal, just shut up and listen.
You screamed at the kids like Jerry Stiller did.
Yeah.
All right, so it is almost time, just about time for us to go. It looks like you had a good year. You were busy and working woodlock like crazy, it seemed like.
Yeah, we're fortunate because we can entertain 6 to 60. So 6-year-olds and 60-year-olds in the same audience, on these family resorts. Yep. They want that. So this way the parents are on board and the kids get it. So it's not many comedy acts that can do that.
Still the quickest thinkers of comedy, right?
Quickest thinkers in comedy, which
Look them
one
up.
seems to get right.
Yep, fantastic. Sorry.
So people, you got to hear the announcer. Here they are. They're very quick guys. Here they are. The comedians that are fast. Here they are. The quicker guy. Yeah. And we always say it's Baker and Mark. Not because I give a shit about who's first, who's not. But if it's Mark and Baker, people go, who's that guy, Mark Baker? So
yeah, right.
So Baker and Mark. Here they are, Vinny and Scott. How hard is it to read a fucking Baker and Mark? The quickest thing is in comedy. That's it. It's real freaking easy. I mean, I don't. You're a teacher. You know what I mean?
I'm math, though. I can't read.
So you'll go out there and say, there's two guys here.
Yeah.
1 and 1 equals 2. We have them both.
But yeah, so you got another big year coming, I hope?
Yeah, we do. Vinny's down in Myrtle Beach, so I'm going on a cruise with, I was pre-COVID, post, so we're going on a cruise January 5th through the, whatever they get back.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. But then we get back, we have our benefits doing, and the schools. We're breaking into the schools now. Not literally breaking in. But we're teaching what we do on stage. We go into schools and we do it to teach them communication and how to build their self-esteem back after being locked up.
Sure,
COVID.
That's great.
But yeah, it's always busy. We're very fortunate. We get. I don't know, we get maybe 70 dates a year between 50 to 70 dates a year
That's
between
great.
the resorts.
Yeah.
You know, so we're fortunate with that, and then we fill it in with all the other stuff.
Nice.
You know, Woodloch
great.
Pines is great because
Right.
they treat us like gold. You know, and we go
nice.
there and they don't care if I bring my family and stuff.
Mhm.
You know, it's
Good
great.
for you, man. That's great.
And they have turkey bacon, so that's unlimited. Seriously,
Really?
Do you like unlimited turkey bacon? Oh yeah, they keep bringing you food.
Really?
They keep bringing you food. Unlimited turkey bacon. Yeah.
All right, that alone, that's a reason to.
I go for free.
Right. Don't tell them. Nobody from Woodloch is watching. Now, what is the story with you? Have you been doing any stand up
No.
or what? You're not done, are you?
No, I will. I still write material. I just
Yeah.
nobody books me.
Oh, all right.
Too busy being Kevin James's double.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I'll have to go yell at people.
No, after coming back from now that we're all back at school for the last year and a half, I don't go to open mics and network
Yeah.
like everybody else does. So I have my friends. They want to book me. That's cool.
All right. Book Will Scharen. He's great.
Thanks. Tony's my.
New agent.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Is he
Sounding
Lebanese?
No, but I will make room for Daddy if Danny Thomas.
Whoa, that was a good one. Nice. All
As
right.
long as he doesn't say bring it over.
Suck my dick. Yeah, bring it up.
I got to remember that.
That is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, I want to say that to somebody just to see their
Oh,
reaction.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
My dad's got 100 of them.
I have this Filipino friend. Oh God, he's so funny. He's living out in Vegas. We grew up together. He's like a brother. But we were stopped at a light in the car, and there's like a construction crew. He rolls down the window and goes, "Nice ass," and he hides down. And I'm sitting there. And now, even worse, I'm pointing out, going, "It wasn't me. It was." And I'm saying, "Nice ass," and I'm pointing to my dick. I'm like, "What?"
It was Johnny Cakes. And then you have to say, it's a joke. It's a joke.
You know Johnny Cakes, the actor that played Johnny Cakes? I guess the backlash of playing a gay man on a mob show. That guy, he killed himself because
Did he really?
he got people used to tease him and stuff about playing a gay guy.
Okay.
He killed himself. Yeah. Bring the show down right there. Sorry.
Now, for more uplifting motivational speeches,
All right, it is time to go. This is our last show of the year. Did you guys know where Auld Lang Syne came from?
Yeah, so there was a Mr. and Mrs. Lang Syne. And New Year's Eve, they got a couple of drinks.
yeah, bring it on.
That acquaintance was not forgotten. I don't know.
You get an E for effort on that one. That was good.
I thought you were going Jewish on us. I thought you just said, "Does anyone know what the land of Zion is?" I thought you said, what? What? What is he
Listen,
talking about? What, this obviously we were religious.
Give me 40 years, I'll find it.
Well, yeah, there's my useless information of the day. The song Auld Lang Syne.
I think it's Lang Syne.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I said? Auld Lang Syne.
You said Ang Syne.
Yeah,
I said ang?
I take
Did I?
medicine for
Yeah.
my anxiety.
Got a lot of anxiety over here.
Auld Lang Syne. AULD. Auld Lang Syne. See, I almost
Yeah.
did it again.
Old Lang Syne.
There you go.
I can't sing.
See, I got you to sing. See that? Let's see. The lyrics were recorded in a poem by a Scottish poet, Robert Burns, in 1788. Although he noted that the song had already been in circulation before he put it down. Then the song rose to fame in North America thanks to Guy Lombardo, whose orchestra played it on his radio and TV shows each New Year's Eve from 1929 to 1977.
Who then went on to coach the Green Bay Packers.
Right. Anybody really knows what it means? Auld Lang Syne?
I do not.
It's Scottish.
I believe it's from an
If
old
memory serves me
1700s
correct.
song. Yeah.
It's a Scottish poem.
Written, I think it was in the 1700s, if memory.
Yeah, it's got to be. I know it was popular in North America, and the guy by the Nautical Mile made it popular. Was at Vincent's Clam Bar next to one of the Captain Steves.
Right.
No, doesn't it mean something like Auld Lang Syne?
I think it's an ale.
It translates
Lang Syne.
It's a lager.
translates from Scots from Scots language to modern English as old, long since, but can be interpreted in practice as old times, especially times fondly remembered, or an old or long friendship, according to dictionary.com.
Kind of like Jaketch. Your father cleans the sheets in the whorehouse.
Oh, right, yes.
Doesn't really translate, but it means something in their language.
And it was way too long, just like that. Forget I even brought it up, you sons of bitches. All right. With that, it's time to go. I just thought, New Year's, forget it.
I can sleep now. Because I'm going to sit there, New Year's Eve and go, what the fuck does this song? Oh, no.
As everybody's singing it. Stop, everybody. Listen. Let me tell you what it's about.
Here's a fun fact.
Anybody here Scottish?
Well, all long since, because if it's Scottish, that's the last time one of them's actually paid the tab. Like, it's been all long since you've got me to pay for the fucking chips and crisps. You wee bastard. And then the Irish guy's like, come on. It's been a long time since the fucking McGregor over here is paid.
It's very rare that you can get someone to do a Scottish and an Irish.
Yes, he's good.
That cut, because mine is the same. And, it's like, I couldn't cut between the two.
Oh, no.
That is really rare that you can do Scottish and Irish in a razor cut.
Well, I don't teach them. I grew up around Irish and Scottish people.
So you drinking problems? No.
I just don't pay for it. That's it's been a whole long time since I had to pay for a couple of shots.
That is really good.
Just like I thought it would be, this was a lot of fun today. So glad you guys were able to make it here today. Scott Baker, the quickest thinkers in comedy, Midtown on Amazon, and somebody book Will Scharen.
Thanks.
And yeah, hopefully, I don't know, maybe Martin Luther King Day or something. Come on back or something.
I will start doing open mics again.
Good. I would love to see you back out there.
It's tough, because I'm not crying because it's nice to have the week off. But
right.
I come home from work, I got to do work.
Right.
And
you got family. Right. Yeah. No, it makes total sense. But
after the show, let's talk about volunteering.
Yes.
On the show
I know. We've been trying for a long time.
I meant to ask you what's new, but I didn't want nah, I'm joking. That's stupid.
Well, you saved me from all that Scottish old lang syne stuff. So. Special needs unit, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
I was joking.
All right, we're out of here. So we will be back on Tuesday. We're taking Monday off. Tuesday, Hugh Murray IV will be in here with me on Tuesday. He's great.
He's awesome, too.
Yeah. So that's that. And I don't think there's anything else on here until then. Pretty sure. So Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you guys once again for hanging. This was a lot of fun, as always, with you two. Happy New Year. And, I guess we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Tuesday Trivia with Hugh Murray IV. All right, we're out of here.
Daniel Murray IV.
You're absolutely right. Hugh Daniel Murray IV.
You guys made me laugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
It was so nice
great meeting you.
Yeah. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys later.